With Industries of Titan starting their 12-month early access journey, I want to share some gameplay tips with you, whether you're already playing or still on the fence about getting this game. During this video, I will talk about and show you 9 tips to make playing this current version of Industries of Titan a bit easier and faster. These tips range from showing you how to use space more efficiently when placing devices inside buildings, to how to alternatively get isotopes, one of the rarer resources, very cheaply. Because this game is in early access and changes are regular, I want you to always check the version you're playing with against the version I was playing during this video, and you can see that version up here on the right corner of the screen. If you would like to see my first look video of this game, I will link it up here on the right as well as in the description below. My name is Peter, and as I welcome you to my channel, which is full of tutorials, guides and game overviews, let's go on to tip number 1. When you are getting attacked, you have to take notice of the fact that your enemies send battleships which hover above your buildings to attack you. The actual position of the ship is marked by this thin white line and its endpoint on the ground. Your defense turrets can only attack enemy battleships whose white position dot lands on their combat range. This is really important because enemy battleships can attack your buildings which are covered by your turret's combat range because their position is just beyond the turret's range. So it's not the buildings that you have to cover with your turret's combat range, but the ground around them from which the enemy battleship can shoot at them. The second tip that I want to talk about is the artifacts inside ruins. You should note that the artifacts are only possible to be gained from these ruins. There is no other way inside the game currently for you to get those artifacts. That is why whenever you see these artifacts inside the ruins, always go for the extraction option, not the salvage option. No matter how many resources might be inside of that building, it is always the best choice to go for the extraction. My third tip for you is to always make sure that you have an energy depot and batteries inside of your buildings. For example, I'll show you here, this building has a lot of batteries and has a lot of power production. But these batteries are currently being drained, as is this building the energy depot. And why is that? Well, it's because I'm currently using 71 energy out of 66 that I'm producing, meaning that I'm spending more than I'm producing. Why is this so? Because of the defensive turrets. They are enabled, even though they do not have employees, they still operate. And they are using 8 energy each, that is 16 energy that is getting me past my actual production rate. When I turn off these turrets, they will stop using energy, but they are not in a ready state if I get attacked. When you see a countdown clock here, that the rebels are going to attack you with their ship, that is when you have to turn on these turrets and give them an employee. Do note that this takes a while, so make sure to do it long before the enemy ship is on you. My fourth tip directly correlates to the previous one. Another reason for energy depots is because when you are upgrading a building, that building is disabled for the entire time of the upgrade, which means that if I want to upgrade an energy plant who is producing a lot of energy, that would mean that I would have a lower production than I'm using, which means that at that point I need an energy depot full of power who is going to supply that power while my energy plant is being upgraded. As you can see, the energy stored is now going down while I wait for the energy plant to go up and be upgraded. So this is very important. Do not upgrade your energy plants unless you have energy stored, or your entire city will grind to a halt. My fifth advice for you is to check when you want to get isotopes that they actually cost a lot of influence to get them from the council. But there is a much better way of getting isotopes, and that costs very little. It's from the ships that come from Earth. Because if you check this MSS Athena, it has minerals and isotopes, and it says that it also carries 2 passengers. Because I don't have enough living space for those passengers, I cannot claim this ship. It would cost me 16 influence to get it. Now, just try and correlate this. This is 16 influence for 5 minerals and 4 isotopes. And how much was the council requesting to sell you 1 isotope? 10 influence. That is a huge difference. Now the problem here is that I do not have enough living space for all of these people who come with these resources on the ship. But there are ships that come without population on them, meaning that you just spend influence points to get the resources that are on that ship. This way, when you get the resources, you get them very cheaply compared to actually getting them from the council. If you find that you are satisfied with the tips I have given you in this video, Please do not forget to hit that like button below and subscribe if you would like to see more content like this. When you are placing devices onto the factory floor, you do need to take care that you do not build too many of them with their small entrances and exits for citizens and employees on the factory floor itself. You want to turn these entrances and exits onto the path surrounding the factory floor. This way you're not facing space like I did here to have a path from the factory's surrounding area onto the factory floor and then to those devices. If those devices are turned onto the factory's surrounding path instead, then you're not wasting any of the precious factory space. Another tip concerning the factories is that when you interconnect two factories and you link them together, like I have these two factories here, they're connected, these factories give you a larger area to build on than when you have two individual separate factories. So a factory floor is close to the size of a headquarters floor. But when you actually connect two factories together, you get a lot more space. Well, not maybe a lot, but at least around 30% more space than you would get from a single floor. So by linking two factories together with the connect option, you get a lot more factory floor. But the downside is this building cannot burrow underground and it is more easily attacked than a headquarters which can burrow underground and then won't get attacked. Another tip about ruins that I want to give you is that you can actually survey ruins without claiming the land that they are on. For example, this ruin here is level 2 and you can see that I can both claim and survey it. Surveying them before actually claiming them will show you what resources and artifacts they hold, and that way you do not have to spend your claim influence points on something that is not worthwhile. For example, if I had claimed this before I had surveyed it, I would not have known that it holds only one red artifact. But over here, I could see that this ruin holds 2 red artifacts. So without claiming, I can still know what's there because I can survey it before I claim it. And the last piece of advice that I want to give you for this video is to remember that when you are building buildings, for example, when I had built the smokestack, you can choose where the entrance to that building will be, and you can see these small 2 arrows are showing you where the entrance is. Because of the layout of my city, for me, the best place for the entrance was here at the front. This way, you're spending less time for your workers to get to a particular building. For example, I'm creating waste here, here, and here, and if I want my smokestack to be efficient at burning that waste, I have to build an entrance to it that is actually turned towards the buildings who are creating that waste. I would like to thank you for watching this video and remind you that I will be posting a lot more about this game. If you're interested in other games I do videos about on my channel, you can see some of these videos up here on the screen right now.